filming Brad Pitt launched at 300 kilometers per hour in a real F1 car in front of actual spectators. Sounds insane, right? Well, that's exactly what Hollywood tried to do. Today, welcome to a new episode of Focus. Here are the incredible secrets behind the movie F1. And yes, Brad Pitt really drives, shooting a Formula One. Movie with Brad Pitt behind the wheel isn't just a technical challenge, it's a feat. Joseph Kosinski, director of Top Gun, Maverick, wanted to make the most authentic racing film ever. No relying solely on CGI or green screens, their gamble. Embed the filming directly into the real F1 season as if it were an 11th team. So yes, Brad Pitt, helmet on, drove a single-seater at real speeds in front of real fans to make us, the viewers, truly feel like we're in the driver's seat. In this video, I'll take you behind the scenes of this insane production high-tech. Effects, never-before-seen cameras made just for this film, and a Brit-turned-driver. Let's go, starting with the visual effects. One of the biggest strengths of F1 is that so much was shot in the real world. Kosinski was determined to avoid full CGI. The crew was granted unprecedented access to Grand Prix circuits, paddocks, and official F1 facilities to capture the raw authenticity of racing. But of course, some scenes were impossible to film ASS. That's where the magic of VFX came in. For example, the car driven by Brad Pitt belongs to a fictional team called Apps GP. In reality, it's a Formula 2 car modified by Mercedes to look like an F1 car and to show Brad Pitt racing against Ferraris. In Red Bulls, they shot real footage and then used a post-production technique called skinning. Basically, they digitally overlaid a new car body onto the real one. This method was already used in Top Gun, Maverick, to disguise some aircraft. So when you see Brad Pitt's character overtaking a Ferrari, it actually happened on track. Only the car body was swapped in post. Even better, the APX GP car was digitally inserted into actual race footage, replacing a real car seamlessly. On screen, it genuinely looks like Brad Pitt is battling Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc. And yeah, spoiler alert, his character wins the final race in Abu Dhabi instead of Verstappen. That's the only real deviation from reality. Another massive challenge was the crash scenes. One spectacular crash involves the character Joshua. Kosinski drew inspiration from two real-life incidents: Alex Peroni's crash at Monza in 2019, and Romain Grosjean's fireball crash in Bahrain in 2020. Instead of using CGI, they pulled off mind-blowing practical stunts. That's what I love. Everything feels real. They launched a car at 177 kilometers per hour using a pneumatic rail. On the first try, it didn't even reach the barrier. Kosinski demanded more power. On take two, the car flew over the tire wall and crashed off dash track. It was over the top. Sure, the camera crew almost missed the shot, but one operator managed to follow it just in time, props to him. Of course, this practical stunt was then enhanced with VFX flames, explosions, and digital doubles to protect the actors and stunt crew. That blend of real and digital is what makes this film shine. All CGI racing scenes just don't work, ever. Seen Speed Racer? Great film, but it's 100% CGI, it's worth watching. But F1 hits differently. The film also draws from real F1 history. In 1990, Martin Donnelly survived a horrific crash when his Lotus literally disintegrated at 270 kilometers per hour. In the film, Brad Pitt's character had a similar crash 30 years earlier. The directors even included restored archival footage to match the fictional story. Donnelly himself said the scene was eerily accurate, every detail brought back that day, to make sure the visuals between real footage and CGI matched perfectly. They used photogrammetry and ultra-precise 3D scanning for the cars, circuits, and even actors' faces. Photogrammetry takes hundreds of photos from all angles and reconstructs highly accurate 3D models using software. That's how they achieved seamless blending, because both the real and digital elements were nearly identical. Everything was modeled for total visual illusion. I bet you didn't even notice when it switched. Now, let's talk about the onboard cameras. This is where the races really come to life. To put us in the driver's seat, the team developed cameras never before seen in sports filmmaking. Kaczynski wanted the same immersive feeling as in Top Gun Maverick. If you've seen Maverick, you remember those intense flying scenes. But an F1 cockpit is even tighter, and the road vibrations are brutal. So, with Mercedes and Sony, they made IMAX cameras small enough to fit inside single-seaters? Reminder. IMAX cameras are what Nolan uses for his epic films like Oppenheimer or the upcoming Zod, Odyssey. Each F1 camera car carried up to 6 camera prototypes and up to 15 mounting points. Capturing every possible race angle, one camera would film Brad Pitt's face, another mounted on the nose, another behind the car to follow the track, and the MVP. A pivoting arm that could swing from a close-up of Brad Pitt to a wide shot of the road or a rival car in one smooth motion. So when you saw those shots and thought, how the hell did they film that? Well, now you know. Miniaturized IMAX. Cams, crazy rigs. Sony even created a compact prototype called Carmen, based on their Venice cam used in Top Gun. All of this was controlled from a circuit-side command center like a TV control room. Kaczynski and cinematographer Claudio Miranda monitored up to 16 live feeds, remotely adjusting focus and camera moves while cars sped at 200 kilometers per hour. This was real racing, sometimes with just minutes to shoot a scene. The director said the team had to give 200% because this wasn't a moment you could redo. Everything had to work, no room for oops, forgot to plug it in. And speaking of image quality, after seeing F1, I wanted my own video quality to be flawless, like what you see right here. That's why this video is sponsored by Asus. Let me tell you about one of the best displays of 2025. The ProArt display, old PA32 UCDM. Yes, the name's a mouthful, but if you work in 3D, VFX, editing, or just want elite gaming visuals, listen, op. It's a 31.5-inch 4K OLED display, 99% DCI-P3, 100% sRGB, factory calibrated. The result? Flawless color, with old blacks are truly black. Contrast, 1,500,000 to 1, HDR up to 1,000 nits. And if you're a gamer, 240 Hz refresh rate, 0.1 milliseconds latency, and even starting up my streams again might hop on Counter-Strike. Join me, the links are below, and because it's old, it's ultra thin, just 8mm. Adjustable stand, or mount it like I did, no base underneath. It's not just a pro monitor, it's a beast. For color grading, gaming, or editing, the PA32 UCDM handles it all. Asus is also running promos on their ProArt lineup. I know many of you are creatives. This gear is for you. It's the links. Thanks to Asus for sponsoring the video. Now let's get back to it. Let's talk about the real star, Brad Pitt. We've seen him everywhere, but in F1, he didn't just act. He drove. From day one, Pitt asked Kaczynski, "Can we do this for real? Please." He wanted the Tom Cruise treatment. No green screens, no stunt double. He wanted to feel the speed, the pressure, the reality of the cockpit. And for an actor, that's everything. Can't fake G-forces on a soundstage. But take a real turn at 170 kilometers per hour, and you're just reacting naturally. Of course, with someone like Brad Pitt, the insurers freaked out. But Pitt and Kaczynski held their ground. So yes, Brad Pitt and Damson Idris drove every racing scene themselves. No doubles inside the cars to prepare. Pitt underwent intense training starting at Paul Ricard in France, then in the UK coached by ex-F2 driver Luciano Bacchida. At first they told him on the radio, "Slow down, man, take it easy." But he soon realized going to slow was riskier. At 300 kilometers per hour, the car sticks to the road thanks to aerodynamics. At 100 kilometers per hour, it's less stable and more prone to sliding, so Pitt pushed. I want to hit 290 kilometers per hour at least, and he did. Lewis Hamilton, also a producer, said, "Brad's a real racer." Jerry Bruckheimer said he was having the time of his life, and it shows on screen. Everyone who saw him drive said he was loving every second, just like Tom Cruise in Maverick. You can tell he's all in, embracing the adrenaline. And that's what makes F1 worth seeing on the big screen. It's Top Gun with cars, and If this movie doesn't work, nothing will. A sequel's already in the works. And beyond the spectacle, F1 pulls back the curtain on what it takes to drive. At 300 kilometers per hour, for real. If you haven't seen it yet, go. It's a knockout. I'm not even an F1 fan. I don't care about the GP Explorer, but I loved this experience. Performances, especially Brad Pitt, the energy, the bits. All there. It's more than a racing movie, it's a tribute to cinema speed, Hollywood's over-the-top spirit. Hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed F1. Thanks again to Asus for the sponsorship. Don't forget to check out the monitor. And the Pro Art deals won't last long. Drop a comment, a like, and share the vid, it really helps. Catch you soon in the next video. This was Adam. Ciao.